Oh boy, we're making another nerdiest motorcycle things video. This is surely not going to cause a bunch of nerds in the comments to write about their nerd bikes. Anyways, modifying your motorcycle. It's the one thing that unifies all motorcyclists aside from our penchant for two-wheeled vehicles and gooch juice. Everyone has their go-to mods that they do: exhaust, filter swaps, tunes, levers, so on and so on, and then for the most part, they're considered obligatory. Like it's weird if you don't do them to your bike. But there is a line with which you must never cross, and once crossed, you immediately transform from a fun-loving fast boy to Coke bottle glasses wearing, pocket protector wearing, Pythagorean theorem reciting nerds! And in case you forgot, our motto around here is no nerds! Just kidding, we really don't care if you're a giant nerd or a flip-flop wearing Busa boy or some BMW dad. We welcome all two-wheeled enthusiasts here. But if you're looking to avoid the shameful having nerdy mods on your bikes, I've got 7 mods you should probably never do to your motorcycle. But today, there's a twist. You know how we have that website down there in the description, a little place called the YammieNoob.co? Well, yeah, when you go there and sign up, you get instant access to our Discord server, which is a great place to hang out with other riders from around the world. We've got Ducatistas, Suzuki degenerates, weebs, nerds, and even cruiser boys, all coexisting in one bohemian garden of motorcycling delights. Man, when I put it that way, it kind of sounds like a giant orgy. It's not an orgy, I promise. It's not like one of those weird Discord servers. No one's going to ask you for a safe word. Anyways, all the entries for today's list were provided by our Discord members, and they're getting their names included on screen for posterity and internet bragging rights. If you want to participate in cool stuff like this, check out our weekly Yamcast live streams and get entered to win some free bikes at the same time, and click that link down below and head over to YammieNoob.co and get signed up. Now with that out of the way, let's dive in with number 7, skulls. Specifically talking skulls on Harleys. Why do you guys have to cover your entire motorcycle in skulls? You've got skull derby covers, flaming skull paint jobs, skull-shaped mirrors with skeleton hands for stems. If you can think of a part, you can probably get a version of it with a skull on it. It's like the Punisher skull in the back of a pickup or something like that. There's no quicker way to identify yourself as a wannabe tough guy.
Oh yeah? Tough guy?
Than covering your cruiser in 1,000 skulls and then riding off in a Ruroc helmet or one of those Bell Rogue Stormtrooper looking half helmets. Or maybe you just went full potato and bought the Predator helmet, which honestly, I love the Busa boys do that. It's just like, just get a $40 helmet. Who cares? Either way, your spooky, scary skeleton routine isn't scaring anyone, and it's not impressing them either. In reality, all you're doing is telling the world that you're desperate to overcompensate for a perceived lack of something. I'm not sure what complex you've got, but it's one of them. I'm an econ major, not a psych major. If you're looking for going some Ghost Rider looking build for your motorcycle, please stop. The world doesn't need another chopped up cruiser crudely fashioned to a half-assed interpretation of a motorcycle from one of the worst Nicolas Cage movies of all time. If you're just trying to look tough, do what all the normal cruiser guys do and mod out your bike like a club bike. Get your jacked up shocks, T-bar ape hangers, bikini fairing, and call it a day. You can even ride around in vans and a vest if you want. I wouldn't, but then again, I'm not trying to cover my bike in skulls. Number 6 is going to automatic clutch conversions. This includes kit like the Recluse, EFM, or any aftermarket bolt-up replacement. While I'm at it, I'm going to include DCT just for giggles. Now, I'm not going to just blanket say that these are for nerds because they actually have some good uses. For example, if you're riding with a disability, it can help you get on 2 wheels. I've also heard that they work wonders for people hitting some serious off-road single-track stuff with the Recluse. But if you're just a street rider and you want to swap out your stock clutch for an automatic one because you're too lazy to use one or you don't want to learn how to use one, you're probably a bit of a nerd. Here's the thing about these clutches though, the only reason to use one is to keep the bike from stalling. You still need to use the clutch lever and shifter to move up and down gears. Unless you're on a DCT bike, then it's just like a giant scooter. There's literally no point to getting an automatic clutch on a street bike other than being a pretty big dork. If you're afraid to learn how to use the clutch, it's because you only drive automatics. Don't worry, my guy, it's really not that bad. You'll learn to do it in about 20 minutes to an hour in a parking lot in your MSF. There's probably thousands of videos on YouTube about shifting gears on a bike. All it takes is a few short hours of practice.
But we talking about practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
Number 5, handlebar mounted speakers. For this one, I'm not talking big dash mounted speakers like a Road Glide or a Challenger. Those bikes are nerdy enough on their own, so you really don't need to worry. No, I'm talking about someone who's got a generic Bluetooth speaker like you'd see on a golf cart or in your shower and then zip tying it to the handlebar. First of all, you are on a motorcycle, not a rickshaw. There's no way you're actually going to be able to hear a damn thing through the speaker you're actually rolling down the road. You've got wind noise, engine noise, your helmet on. If you're a good boy, you've got earplugs in too. If you can hear your handlebar handlebar mounted speaker through all of that, please spare a thought for all the innocent bystanders you're passing by and reducing to bloody-eared collateral damage with your sonic assault. Now, I know you're wondering why it's okay for the Harley guys to blare music at full volume from the dashboards and why you can't on your 600. Well, those people are already a menace to society. When was the last time you ever saw one of those Harleys with an exhaust that was ear-splittingly loud? You, on the other hand, don't have to live like that. Just get a helmet system and use that to play your music. It'll sound better and you won't wake the dead at the same time. If you're wondering, we on the channel recommend Cardo. And if you're a true audiophile like your Papa Yam, they've got JBL speakers, you can get that crisp audio. Moving on, number 4 is going to go to taller windscreens. Once again, there's a time and a place for the taller windscreen. Like if you're hitting the track, I want a little more of that aerodynamic bubble. But if you're putting a windscreen on a naked bike, you're doing it wrong. If you slap a windscreen on an MT-07, you'll go from having the wind hit you in the chest to the wind hitting you right in the face. Good job! Seriously, I've seen some super nerdy windscreen setups and I don't get the point. Unless you're trying to crush thousands of miles or something, you're not going to achieve the desired effect, and that being total wind protection without a windscreen the size of a boogie board. And at that point, you're best served by just getting a Goldwing or an adventure bike. At least then you don't have to feel ashamed of your life choices. Maybe you will a little bit, especially on the Goldwing, unless you have an old school Aspen Cade like Shade Tree, in which case you just have very peculiar and bizarre tastes. I would know. I've bought 4 Daytonas. I can attest to the strange tastes. But back to windscreens. They come in a few different flavors. You've got the sort of extended one, and that's for the guy or gal who's trying to change the look of their bike. This is like a 4 out of 10 on the nerd scale. Then you've got the tall windscreen people. You see these on sport tours, crudely bolted onto naked bikes and cruisers. These are a solid 7. Finally, you've got the king dick nerds with the tiny little windscreen attachment. For some reason, the massive windscreen on their ADV bike wasn't good enough, and they need to spend $150 on a 2-inch clip-on extension. At this point, you need to take a hard look at the mirror and ask yourself, are you okay? Number 3, the cup holder. Is there any clearer way to broadcast to the world that you're a moto dad? At the point where you're putting a cup holder on a motorcycle, you should really just trade your bike in and get a minivan. We both know it's what you really want. Why are you fighting yourself with this one? You'll be so much happier. That way you won't have to roll around with the modular helmet unless you're just committed to that bit, and at that point you should just keep the helmet on all times. I seriously cannot imagine a quicker and easier way to identify at a glance how much of a dweeb you are. If for some reason you're dead set on riding a bike with a cup holder, you've probably got one of those one-piece banana suits and a Schuberth helmet and one of those comm systems from 2008 with a big boom mic. I can't even with this. Next, number 2 goes to those little aftermarket tire pressure monitoring systems you can add to your bike. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can spend like $200 on special little caps for your valve stems that constantly read the pressure in your tires and relay it back to a screen on your dash somewhere. That way you don't have to check your tire pressures, which sounds like a good thing, right? Well, not really, no. Motorcycle tires lose pressure pretty quick relative to car tires, and since you only have 2 wheels, checking your pressure takes about a minute with a pen gauge. Also, since the pressure sensors need to constantly keep the stem depressed to read the pressure, you're going to lose pressure faster. If you're thinking this is a quick fix to eliminate maintenance, just think about it for a minute. You need to install the dash, so that's like an afternoon wiring it up to your bike. You need to screw the caps down, each one with its own battery that needs to be replaced. Also, how often do you lose those little black caps? Well, let's add a few extra dollars for the inevitable replacement. Then on top of that, you need to rebalance your wheel because no matter how lightweight you go, they're going to throw off the balance. You got to redo that. And then suddenly a cool piece of tech just turned into a giant pain in the butt so you could be a lazy boy. Don't be a nerd, just use a pen gauge like a normal person and just keep an eye on it. Last up on today, and it's for the insecure street Rossis out there who need to prove themselves and everyone around them that they've actually got the lean angles they claim and they're completely capable of scrubbing their chicken strips off, and it's lean sensors. Look, guys, I'm literally like holding my temple right now. This is an intimate moment we're having together, okay? Listen, look, if you're out there trying to measure the exact degree of lean on your bike, you've got so many deeper issues to work on. You should probably seek professional help instead of dropping a whole bunch of money on a stupid sensor that proves nothing to anyone. If you're out there using one of these motorcycle apps to check your lean and think you can skate by without my watchful gaze, then you are sadly mistaken. Even people on the track don't care about lean angles. Ask me if I care about my lean angles. All I care about is going faster. That's it. The only thing that actually matters is lap times and whether or not you avoided a yard sale at turn 9. Other than that, literally no one on the entire planet cares about your lean angle. But Yammie, they have the lean angle on screen when I watch MotoGP, so it must matter, right? No, it's just to make smooth brain watchers go, wow, look how far Rossi's leaning over. He's so fast. This is the sort of mod that sends you beyond simple nerdom and into the realms of spec sheet warriors. Please, for the love of God, do not track your lean angles, people. It is so irrelevant. Fact, the first item sold on eBay was a broken laser pointer. Goodbye. All right, look, you don't have to lie to me. If you had time for one Yammie Noob video all the way to the end, you probably have time for another one. You should probably just click this link and watch the video right over here. I promise it's gonna be good. You won't regret it. Seriously, you should just click it. I'm sure it's good. We only make good stuff around here. You should just watch it. Why are you still here?